So our first step is to add in the components that we're going to use on this project. You'll see here I'm going to just add in some text, and then let's change it out to say Happy Easter. And I'm going to change this to the engrave function, and let's change the font style to the dancing script. And you'll see there's a little tooltip here. So I'm going to go ahead and initially resize this text to be pretty close to what I want as far as the size. And I'm going to add a little bit of a curve here. And so we'll just drag and drop that image in. And I've got this Easter bunny and some eggs and everything. So let me scale that down just a little bit. And before we do much, I'm going to edit the image, and this xTool image editing section has a neat little feature where you can just select and part of the image and it will erase it. So you can see here it's just removing these outlines, and I think that'll just help the image look better with the overall design. So we'll save that. And then I want to do a little bit to adjust the contrast. So we'll get this worked in just a little bit closer to the size that'll match this curvature of the text. All right, let me get this top corner and move that in, and we'll slide it over. Okay, so yeah, so let's move the contrast and adjust that because we want it to have good contrast. So the next thing we need to do is we need to create an outline around the text. So xTool has this great little tool that you can just select both the text and the image, and then it will draw a vector outline around the image. And you can make an adjustment here. You can see I'm adjusting the padding around the text and the image, and you just want to play around with that to get something that looks good. So what we're drawing is a line that will be cut out around the overall design. And you can see I've got a couple of little spots on the inside. I'm going to want to remove those, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. So the next thing we want to do is create the base of the design to have sort of like a little clip that will go on the Easter basket. So I've imported this this design here, and we're going to resize it. It's just a simple shape, and we're going to put it so that way it tapers down towards the very bottom. I've unlocked the aspect ratio. You can click that lock in between the length and the width, and it'll allow you to adjust the height and the width independently. So I'm just kind of placing this in here and trying to see what looks the best. And whenever you're aligning things, you'll notice these little blue lines showed up in the center, and that tells me that I've got the shape aligned with the design that I've already created. So the next thing we need to do is to add in a slot for the basket. But as I mentioned earlier, I wanted to get rid of these little holes in the middle of the design where the outlines didn't overlap. So to do that, I'm just going to put in a rectangle, and then I'm going to select the outside outline, and then I'm going to combine or unite those again. And then now to put in that slot, we'll use a rectangle, and let's adjust that. Now I know that the thickness of the rim of the basket is 1/4 of an inch or 0.25 inches, and that's what I want to set the width of this rectangle. So now that I've got that adjusted and I know this is the right width, I can see that the bottom of it is a little bit too wide. So I think I want to adjust the overall dimensions of my shape. So to do that, let's first select all the elements and then we'll do a resize. So I'm going to remove that and then select all. And then now we'll just set the overall width to something that will make this the right proportions. Okay, so now let's add back in our rectangle. And let's set that to 1/4 of an inch. So again, you want to unlock the shape and you can adjust the length and the width separately, independently. So I've got that centered up. Now what we want to do is use that combine tool again, and we're going to subtract or remove the rectangle from the lower half. So we just click subtract, and now we've got that cut out at the bottom of the shape. So this next part really depends on the machine that you have. So I've got the xTool D1 and it's got a 5-watt laser. So I'm going to go through and just put in the settings, and I've included this in the how-to and in the setup file. Both the image of the Easter Bunny and the text are set up to the same engrave setting, so 100% and 60 for the speed. And then for the image, I like to use the Jarvis pattern, engraving pattern, bitmap mode. And I think that just works the best because it basically creates these little dots, and a concentration of dots equals a darker color, and fewer and smaller dots equals a lighter color. And the important thing here is to set up the outline for a cut, and for this 5-watt laser we want to go at 4 millimeters a second, and I found that taking 5 passes helps. Alright, so the last thing we want to do is set this up and engrave it and cut it out with the laser. But before you start to use your laser, be sure that you know and understand all the safety precautions that come with using your laser. So wear all personal protective gear, and be sure that you're doing this in a well-ventilated area if you are not using an exhaust system for your laser. So you can see here I'm setting it up and just aligning the material. And I always use the outline so that way I can kind of know where the work area is. And once I'm happy with that, making sure that I'm not overlapping something or running off of the material, then we'll set up and tell the software that we're ready to start the job. And you'll see the little LED light up blue. And with safety equipment on, we're ready to press go and it start burning. Of course, now we're looking at this through the camera and that's safe, but if you're there in person with your laser, as you always should be, you shouldn't leave your laser unattended while it is engraving. You need to be wearing your safety equipment. And so once the job is finished, you can see there's the laser engraved design, and it just falls right out. Excellent. Looks great. I hope you had fun with this project, and have fun and be safe with your laser.